Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yo Pops, the podcast with me, Sean Williams, and let's face it, the one we're all here for. Go on, Dad, say hello to your adoring public.
Peace, peace.
Peace and peace and peace.
Yes.
How are you surviving in this heat wave that we're having? Do you love it?
Love it.
Seriously?
Love it. Can't get enough of it.
Even like today's like today?
Yeah, fantastic.
Seriously?
Well, yes. But I need it.
But is that because your office is air conditioned?
No, I need it because I need my vitamins.
And so have you been laying out in it or walking in it?
I try to do a bit of walking and open the windows and let the light comes in.
So you're enjoying the light, the illumination of the sun? Honestly, because you're maybe in a very small category of people that will probably say, I love it, it's amazing. Because most people, I think they're kind of like...
But most time of the year, I got to tap up this melanin.
I hear you. I'm with you. But it has been quite stifling.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because today probably feels like the coolest day I experienced when I was traveling last weekend. And that was still hot. So I sat there and like, Cambridge should not be feeling like Vietnam. Also, happy Father's Day for yesterday.
Thank you.
Did you enjoy the service that I was a part of?
Yes, it was good.
It was lovely.
Very good. Very good. I enjoyed it.
I felt like it was a really wonderful reflection of well-intended, not only thoughts, but there was action as well, because obviously there was gift giving. And a lot of the time, I think it's very rare that men are spoken of in the way that some of the tributes and the presentations yesterday that they were given, and you could see that it visibly moved those that were present. And actually, it was an interaction that I had with Elder Duncan that it was impacting, because sometimes you don't think that people. Firstly, you just assume they know, which is the first wrong thing to do that we do sometimes. And then the second thing is that sometimes we don't maybe think it's going to be as impactful as it ends up being, and then you kind of see them just like, thank you for that, and then you're like, oh wow, it's like if I knew you wanted to hear that or needed to hear that. You would have said it a little bit. Right, big things to talk about.
Yeah.
Have you been watching the World Cup?
Have I been watching it?
Have you been watching it?
Not much.
Did you see the England game? Did we?
No, I didn't actually.
You missed out on a good game.
Oh, shocking.
And that was very insincere, but it's fine because I'm excited about it enough for the both of us. So let me tell you everything that happened. That shocking was so insincere. It wasn't a genuine shocking.
Why?
Because I've seen you shocked, and that wasn't you shocked.
No.
Yeah.
No, I am, because if one is going to be honest,
go on.
They have not been doing exceptionally. In fact, come to think of it,
they've been doing all right.
Well, come think of it, I think I did see a bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was thinking that the new manager has done really well for his first game.
He's doing very well.
I think it was about 4 or something. Is that right?
4-2.
See,
they are doing well.
Yes. No, I did see.
Do you remember the last conversation we had? And I said he strikes me as the kind of guy that he gives me the vibes. You know when a person knows something you don't know. He, in my opinion, he proved that.
Yes.
In the first game, and the reason why I say that because I'm not going to force you to talk about this for a lot, because you absorb a lot of my football fanaticism. So I thank you for even just talking to me about it. He has managed that, huh?
It's a true word.
It is. I love a beautiful game. I do. So, the same way you love wanting to go away places that, you see what I'm saying? We can all play that game then.
I think you just came back from Vietnam, so I don't know if you can be talking about me loving great places.
4 days.
4 days.
And did I sound like I wanted to go?
Huh?
Did I sound like I wanted to go?
Of course you do.
I didn't want to go. When I got there, I loved being there. Who wouldn't? It's a beautiful place. Hot. A beautiful place. Now, where I was. Thomas Tuchel, Dad, in my opinion, he's done what none of his predecessors could do. He has managed to take the product that is the Premier League and apply it to international football. When I watched England, I felt like I was watching a Premier League game.
Right.
And the Premier League, in my opinion, is the best league in the world. It's the most watched, definitely.
Yeah.
And every person, even the best players that have come over from different leagues, they always say the Premier League is so fast. And because of Pep Guardiola and a couple others, the technicality of the players is brilliant. So to have technically gifted players that can do the actions at the speed they can. It's never been married before.
Yeah.
And a lot of what I call the negative play that would come into England, like they conceded a goal just before half time. Dad, normally England would come up like, okay, let's try and maybe nick another goal, but let's kind of keep it tight and we're not going to be expansive. And the minute they scored after the 2 minutes after the restart. Normally, hold, sit back, bring on some defenders. This guy said, no, the game's here for the taking. Now is when we go and strike. It was such Premier League mentality, Dad. And I watched it a couple of times towards the back end of the season when Man United, under Mr. Carrick. Dad, there were certain games where no, the game's there for the taking. Like when we beat Arsenal 3-2, and it was, the game was there for the taking.
Why you trying to upset me?
Listen, you won the league, you're fine for now. But as I was saying, Tuchel...
We are disappointed.
Well, who was disappointed?
The Arsenal people.
Of course, for that result, but you won the league. So.
Yeah, but we wanted to win everything.
I know, but Dad, you can't, life, you can't win everything.
But we accept we are making progress.
You make amazing progress.
Indeed.
But the point I was making is that I feel like Tuchel has finally managed to kind of bring the Premier League elements to the national team. And I'm not saying they're going to win it, but if they are going to win it, they've got the right man to do it. Yeah. I really do.
I must say, he did seem very calm and in charge.
Yeah, not flustered.
Yes, he wasn't panicking, thinking that the whole of England is waiting to crucify him if he doesn't come up with something. He just seemed to really went in there with a kind of incredible confidence.
Do you know what? Okay, you'll understand this. There has been a couple of times when I've done some really big shows, lots of people. And I remember speaking to you before Glastonbury, and I remember speaking to you before I did the O2 on one of the days. When you're in a high stakes game, your personality either leans you into that moment, or sometimes people have to kind of rev you into it. Does that make sense? And Dad, is a guy that he thrives when the pressure is highest. And that's what I like about him. Because we've got players that can get there. And I think, like we were saying before, he looked at Gareth Southgate and he's just like, they're ready to take the last step. And I can help them take the last step. And so that's what I think I've enjoyed. And just so many games. And Cape Verde doing... We won't get into this because I can tell that you haven't seen any of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's fine. Swiftly moving on.
Yes.
Massive shift today in British politics.
Yes.
I could not believe it. I was searching for an interview from a little podcast that I like to watch, and I thought it was jokes. I thought, because AI is everywhere, fake news.
That's right.
And it was just like Keir Starmer resignation speech, and it was kind of like all of the main, publications and production companies and whatnot, or networks, I should say. Dad, firstly, your first reaction?
I must say I knew it was coming, but this quick, no.
Are you surprised at how quickly it's happened?
Yes, I thought there was a bit more fight in him.
Wow.
Because that's what you were saying before the events.
Right.
He's gonna fight to stay on.
Yeah.
But clearly, the result, I think, sort of knocked the stuff in.
Which result are you talking about?
The one
particular?
in the by-election.
Okay.
That
Burnham getting the place of Makerfield.
Not just winning.
Yeah, that's true.
The degree in which he won.
Yeah.
It
was overwhelming.
Sort of shut everybody up, give him the EBGs, as it were, and I think he just thought, you know what? There's no way I'm going to be able to defend that, especially against the reform.
And do you know what? That's the thing that I feel like because I was doing a little bit of research about it, because I've tried to, not that I'm not watching the news, Dad, but I think for people that are familiar with the news, it works in cycles. So once you've watched a cycle, then they're only going to shift it if there's breaking news. Otherwise, you're going to watch the same cycle. And I was just like, okay, I need to I get what's going on in the world. I understand the pulse, and okay, fair enough. However, the emergence of Farage and this Reform Party, it feels like it's given the main political parties a real fright, to be honest. And for the research that I was doing, it appears that it's come from within the actual Labour Party. So a couple of the people that I listened to, their whole thing was that even within the Labour Party, most Labour leaders have a faction within their party that are diehard,
of course, yes.
unconditional. Like, you know, Jacob Rees-Mogg?
Yes.
Starmer didn't have any Jacob Rees-Moggs, Dad. People that will back you to the hilt.
Yes, yeah.
That no matter what foolishness you do, they'll still find a way to defend you, right? So they were saying that what's more damaging for Keir Starmer is the fact that it's actually come from the people within the party, which meant there was no kind of route back.
No.
So the question I'd ask you, Dad, do you actually think that Andy Burnham can trust such unscrupulous people?
I think he can.
Okay.
It's all about, it's going to be down to management.
Okay.
How he manages.
And who he brings in his cabinet.
Absolutely. And who he chooses to interact with and at the highest level.
Yeah.
You know, because of course there are those that are extremely ambitious.
Yeah.
And if he slips, there will be, in there to do great stuff.
Dad, yeah.
Right. However, I think the Labour Party is going to do their best to make sure that they surround him with protect him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because where I feel the shock and the emphasis is not so much about the Labour MPs. It is what happened to the Reform.
Right.
You see, that's where the whole thing sits, is that Farage was running thinking he was invincible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everything just going to fall down, a bit like the Alexander the Great situation, I'm going to conquer the world in very short time. And that is what I felt he had in mind. And he couldn't see anyone going to be able to
come in and
stop that train that was...
And they were quite aggressive in trying to stop Burnham getting that seat.
Indeed, they were, plus the polls were all in his favor.
Yeah, they were.
That he's going to be... And that was... The devastation was, they just cannot assimilate it right now. You see? And I think it has sent panic. And that is one of the reasons why I believe that the Labour MPs are going to really stand with him.
Okay.
Because they see Reform as a runaway train.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And nobody could stop it.
Sorry, little thing.
Okay. And nobody could stop it until this guy came. And not just stop it. I mean, when you put all the other parties together, he was still way ahead. So, so I think he see this man as a real threat to his potential premiership, where he would become prime minister. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he's even gone about offering the Conservative leader some kind of a pact agreement. Yeah. Wow. So it does tell you to what extent they have been stunted, really.
What do you think the Keir Starmer situation says about leadership in the country at the moment?
The first thing I think where he goes wrong, he doesn't answer questions.
Okay.
And I think that's what everybody in the country got sick of. I mean, I was particularly sick of it myself. You see, what people want is honesty. It's not even if you get it right or don't get it right. It's the fact that the MPs, politicians are there to ask questions that we want to ask with a view that, we're going to get the answer. But you can't sit down and sort of take everybody and say, now this is how you're going to answer every question. Don't answer it. You know what I mean? Beat around all the bushes you can find until eventually you don't answer anything. So people say, well, no, this is ridiculous. And it is what I feel the opposition used to really destroy him.
Okay.
Right? When he made a mistake with the guy, the ambassador to America.
You mean Mr. Mandelson?
Yes. Come clean. Say yes. I was in a hurry because I wanted to get somebody in there who is familiar with Trump and they are.
You wanted to get the upper hand.
Indeed. And so I choose him without sort of doing my due diligence.
No,
folks.
Do you know what? I think he did do his due diligence, Dad. I think Starmer got caught doing what every premier has done before him, but he was not in a strong enough position to be able to ride out the storm that was invariably going to come when it all blew up. Does that make sense?
Indeed.
But I do want to round back on the question that I asked you. I understand what your feelings were about, or I do understand now what your feelings were about Keir Starmer in terms of him not being honest, not answering questions straight. But what does this situation tell you about leadership in not only government, but in terms of, the country?
I think you can't take things for granted, that because you have a good day or week or month or year, it's going to play out like that all the time.
Right.
You have to continually giving and make sure that whatever you're giving, it still remain quality. Because people are unforgiving when you messed up. So I think as leader, he got carried away with the majority, with the fact that he had such majority result, and he just felt, okay, the people of this country gave me a mandate, and I'm going to do it the way I want to do it, and perhaps push his own personal agenda. What I mean by that, I think it's always been a pro-European. And for him, he was going to find a way to reverse what the country said they wanted, and he's gone about it. And I just feel that paying more attention to that vision than he was about the general everyday need of the country.
No, I hear what you're saying completely. I think when I look at it, to me, it weakens the idea of leadership in this country massively. For the simple reason that I believe this is maybe the third or fourth prime minister we've had in maybe a 2 to 3 year period. I'd actually need to check that so that I'm not talking out of term. And every single time that they seem to get ousted, Dad, is over dishonesty.
Yep.
So it would tell me that in our government and in our executive leadership positions, we struggle to find honest people, or those people are not allowed or given the latitude to be as honest as they need to be with the people that they're supposed to serve.
Right.
It would also suggest to me that we're moving away from a place where we're dealing with leaders that have visions, that we're more so dealing with people that are put in positions to facilitate the nature of an office.
Yeah.
But they're not necessarily being allowed to lead, right? Because to me, I sit there and the first thing that really got me kind of going, whoa, this doesn't feel right. You can't be a leader and not have a group of people that will roll with you. Otherwise, you're not a leader, you're a lone wolf. And really, the time is ticking on you kind of being successful, efficient, because a time will come where you're going to need people to back you, because it's the nature of life, Dad, that there are certain decisions or circumstances that will come, everybody's not going to think the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I think, and this is my own understanding, it's the reason why I think nefarious characters like Mandelson can exist, because even in some of the crazy things he might do and has done, he's aligned himself with people that I don't think they've maybe been as public with their support for him, but I'm sure there's a couple of people that have potentially lobbied for him in private space, like, well, it's Mandelson, you know what he's like. And, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, looking at it, you've got the whole situation where you've got a person like a divisive person like Nigel Farage that is the other option.
Yeah.
And then you've got a person like Keir Starmer who, and obviously, for want of a better term, didn't find himself as the most direct and honest person. Mm. And then you're dealing with a nation or a group of people that are almost drowning in the pressure of uncertainty, economically, health-wise. Look at the heat we're having, Dad. Mm-hmm. I mean, I grew up in a time when we used to get what I'd call more regular summers.
Yeah.
It was never 30-odd degrees. Mm. Does that make sense?
Yes, indeed.
And so I just think that it puts the next big election that we have, I just feel like we're moving towards something.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. We I think in the case of leadership and leaders in general, the biggest problem they have is loyalty.
Yeah, massively.
I mean, because they get into certain position because of promises, that they make to people, and when they then arrive, they're bound by those promises that they've made. And I'm seeing it with a lot of mainstream leaders, the Trumps, the different people, is that, okay, when I get into power, there'll be no more war, and I'm going to bring home all the soldiers. And then you got that, and the people are saying, well, we are still waiting. In fact, you're going the opposite direction. You ought to be going that way. Yeah. And so I think that with him, for him to got into power the way he did, I think a lot of people, he promised a lot of things to aid him get to where he was going to get to fast. Yeah. And now that he got there, they are calling in the favors. Mm. And I think that Mandis is one of those who was instrumental in helping him to get to where he got to, and then said, okay, now you're in, I want a favor now. And when you look at some of those who got the sacker, who left, was the same thing. Mm. And he had to do things to people that he shouldn't be doing things to, because they were the engine that get him to where he got to. And it's a bit like similar thing with the Barris of this world.
Yes.
Yes. And when you have to say no to those who did so much, you promised so much, then they become, disingenuous and find it hard to forgive.
I wanted to just wrap this part of the conversation up with something that I saw. Were you able to see his resignation speech? Have you seen any of the clips?
I haven't seen that yet.
There was a part where he referenced his wife and spoke about kind of being able to go back and be a father to his kids who he loved the most, and he was saying it was the most kind of important part of his life, and his voice broke and he became visibly emotional. Mm. Dad, what is the role of a partner in a moment when the person that they're with is in a position of leadership? It doesn't have to be at that super executive high level that Keir Starmer is. It could be in a regular job or in a committee or whatever else. What is the one thing that he would require in this moment from his wife and his family?
I mean, the common term that people would use is support.
Yeah. What is that though? Because it's such an ambiguous,
exactly.
Wide.
That's what I was about to say that. What it is, I think what would be difficult for him is how he's put back together. Right. And what I mean by put back together is that right now he feel like broken pieces. Yeah. You get what I mean? And I remember a song you used to sing.
I never sang that
I don't
song.
think it was.
No, it wasn't me.
No, it wasn't.
Like the piece of a puzzle. Good.
Yes. I did quickly say it wasn't you.
After I gave you look to be like...
your songs, you've done so many songs that sometimes it is difficult to remember which you did, which you didn't. But anyhow, I take the point that you didn't do that one. And but that song, I think it fits perfectly into his situation.
Okay.
Right? Like a puzzle, all broken up pieces. And it takes somebody now, the wife and family has to be like that divine arranger.
Okay.
Who is going to, piece by piece, putting back together to have this glorious picture, of a man, being restored from being broken up. And it is where it is within her power to either make him feel totally devastated and perhaps stay broken, or she's going to say, okay, look, you've done your best, and therefore, for us and all the rest, you've got a fantastic legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let me help you build and continue that legacy. Because when you think in terms of his severance pay, it runs into hundreds.
So in terms of, he's provided amazing security for his family.
Absolutely.
They're not going to really worry about anything.
No, they're not. And it's what he can do, because I think a lot of people would be interested to hear his story.
Massively.
You know what I mean?
Massively.
And if Blair could pull in $4 million for his book, you know what I mean? I think he would be sort of rivaling that kind of stuff, given the diversities of things around him, major things, the Trumps, the war, all this stuff that went down. So I think she would better serve him by being there for him and to reassure him that, look, it's not the end. It is, how depending on how you look at it, it's not the beginning, but it's a progression.
Yeah.
And how you handle this progression at this time can either thrust you to a place of prominence. You've got some powerful people whom he has met and who still require his expertise. Let's call it that. So the potential is still there. And I think that it is in his dark moments is where she's going to really find that she's the light that lead him out of that darkness.
Question: do you think there is a part or even a argument or a debate to be had where he potentially maybe owes his family a season of quiet calm?
I don't think he does quiet calm.
No. Even if he doesn't do it, on the basis of we've never heard any stories or scandals regarding to his wife. She's never acted in an inappropriate or lewd manner in public office, right? We've never, and our press that are notorious worldwide for finding what is there and isn't there, right? So I'm wondering if after 6 years of scrutiny, invasive questions and behaviors, to not be able to put a foot wrong, right? To know that just because of your attachment to the thing, you've had to bear the burden of the thing that you never get credit for. And she probably has never asked for credit. And the kids are probably, they may not even be at a stage or an age where they understand how their dad's success and his prominence has maybe impacted and shaped what they've known as their everyday life. But do you think there is a space where Keir Starmer should sit and go, do you know what? I've put my family on the rack for the last 6 years. Of course, I'm going to come back because this is what my life is, what I do. But I think I'm going to go and I'm going to... Because, sometimes people put themselves together or they put themselves back together and sometimes they'll do it in a public way. I think sometimes with Boris Johnson, who he'll run off to the island of whatever, and he's meant to be away, but yet he's still popping up in the news feeds. He's just like, are you really away or are you over there briefing over here? Does that make sense, Dad? And then I sit and I think to myself, would that also be an amazing lesson for his children to also be like, I ascended to the most important job in the land under the monarchy, And even I found balance in saying, when my break came, I totally stepped and walked away. And sometimes it's a conversation, obviously, that we have, because I see the workload that you have and how committed you are. Do you think that's a conversation he may need to have with himself? Or
if I had to advise him, I would say to him that what he has around him is assets.
Right.
You know what I mean? His wife is assets, his children is assets.
Okay.
And how he utilizes those assets can either see him explode, you know, in a great way, or collapse internally, you know. Why? Because, as you said, his wife has got that clean sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think people would be very interested, her take on things.
Probably.
Is what I mean? And if you can produce a book, say for example.
But Dad, what if she's not into that? Like, what, on the basis of, I guess the question I'm asking is, do you think there is a conversation where he sits and he says, right, for the last however long, the strain on myself, the hours I've given, the sacrifices I've made, my family, everything connected, I'm going to take a sabbatical. I'm going to take myself.
Was that the wife or the...
No, obviously it'll be the husband.
Yeah.
It'll be the husband, because he'll be because what he does will affect their world.
Yeah.
Because he's the biggest force in that world, right?
I honestly don't think he's going to do that.
No, Dad, I know you don't think he's going to do that. I'm not asking you what you think he's going to do. I'm asking you, is there a conversation and a debate and an argument where a person in that position can think widely enough to sit and say, okay, sabbatical's needed? Because the reality is, Dad, very few prime ministers don't then go and take the elevator up to the House of Lords, right? Where we know, and if you ask me, that's where the real power is. It's not in Parliament. Because Parliament can sit there and we can hear it and rare and backbench of this, and we can make great TV. But once they send that little slip upstairs, if those gentlemen up there and ladies as well up there sit there and go, no, they're going right back downstairs again, Dad, to debate something, well, the whole thing again, or a slight amendment to it. So it's obviously clear from his career, prosecutor at the highest level. You join the Labour Party, you get to become the Labour leader, you're now the Prime Minister. This is a man of high ambition, Dad. But I'm trying to say that in the pursuit of high ambition, there are sometimes casualties of war that become collateral damage that shouldn't. So I'm saying, given your experience, right, do you think and would you advise and say, do you know what? Step off the hamster wheel, take a sabbatical.
I wouldn't.
You'd advise him not to?
I wouldn't advise him to do that.
Why?
His departure is too dramatic for him to lock himself away. It would be very difficult for him to come back. You know what I mean? I would see him, yes, take the holiday, relax with the family, etc., but get back on that treadmill, because he has been involved in too many things to just walk away. And while I think he was very smart, well, his advisors, to tell him, leave clean. You know what I mean? Don't leave with the kind of embarrassed situation. Just leave clean. So, because that is going to earn you more respect going forward than anybody, because there's still great position that, say, somebody like Andy Brennan could call him and say, you know what, Cliff, I need somebody to represent us in Europe. And seeing that you've been a guy dealing with it, then we think you would be good. So I think that's where he's going to be going. I don't see him sitting down.
Can I ask you a question? Let's say King Charles abdicates and William becomes king, right? You really think he's going to take his son going, Dad, come here. I need you to go and be an envoy to... He's not. But for this simple reason, Dad, tell me, right, how many monarchs you know whose succession came at planning and not planning through death?
I think the difference is that
No. Who?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know any within that context.
Now, and I just want to back up my point because I'm making a point. This isn't me challenging what you're saying. This is me trying to make a point. So if you can't think, right, of anything to that context, and with all the life you've seen, right, what if we know then that people will hold on to power until they can't? Because remember, you and I spoke about the Mandelson thing and we were like, he's finished, right? And the first thing you came and you're like, I didn't expect it to be that quick. Which to me is problematic, right? For this reason. If I'm finding out you've got no support in your party, we already all think you're a dead man walking, and you're sitting there convinced that you are the resurrector and Lazarus, which I don't know how that works because the dead then has to talk to themselves and bring them back to life, and that can't work. That means that you're not going to do the smart thing, because the smart thing would have been like, okay, I'm not going to survive this Mandelson thing. It's clear I'm not going to survive the Mandelson thing. Burnham is coming like a steam train, right? Let me get out of the way. And the reason I say that is because if I'm him, Dad, because of how gross this Epstein thing is,
right,
and the fact it's still hanging in the air, you're not going to be able just to go away and then get Andy to bring you back in, because anytime that Andy does something that people don't like, or maybe you do something that people don't like, you're now going to become a problem to him, and he doesn't want to get beaten with the Epstein stick. So that means to put Keir Starmer in a visual position, Dad, if it was me, I'd be like, you don't want this guy anywhere near your thing. Which is why I would then advise to be like, the only way people are really going to believe that you've changed or that you've developed or you've evolved or you've grown is that requires an extended space of time away from the thing that has sullied you or tainted you in that way, for you to then come back and go, okay, cool. For example, Donald Trump spent time away from his TV shows before he's like, okay, we're now looking at Donald Trump, the politician. Makes sense? Because you have to change the perception from, okay, here's a property guru and businessman, to here's a TV showman. And this is, Donald Trump has been on wrestling. No. WWF wrestling, where, you slam people and it's 1, 2, 3 and people are being crazy and wild. Yeah. And you go from that to the most powerful office known amongst what we call the free world in this moment, right? So that's what I would maybe, that would only be my only challenge to the point that you made in terms of Keir coming straight back, is that I think the depth of what he's in.
I do from my own personal observation, discernment, I think he hasn't got that intention. I don't think he has intention of lying down. When he won the election, even though it was such a massive result, I knew he wasn't going to last.
Okay.
And I've said it to a few people that is not going to last, because there are certain strategy that he employ that I think does not reflect who he is.
Got you.
And therefore, as long as he continue to pursue that strategy, then he's going to put him in a very bad light. And it's like somebody found his weak point.
Yeah. And
they constantly squeezing it. Yeah. And so, as I said, that the compromise, I believe his team and Burnham team would be, okay, we're going to negotiate here.
I just don't think Burnham want that.
I understand. I'm just saying what I think concerning the situation.
And if I was Keir Starmer, Dad, the seat of power is moving to Europe.
Sorry.
So Nigel Farage was, in my opinion, he was an undesirable. And then through UKIP, he gets into the European Parliament, makes a bit of a name for himself. At this same point, you've got Steve Bannon, who was working for Donald Trump in the early days, flying around to all of these kind of European and Baltic countries, and he's really pushing a nationalist agenda. What are we seeing Reform UK? It's a nationalist party.
Yes.
So you're taking a guy that left what he knew to go into a space that's kind of a bit foreign to him, got within, the system of what was moving. And the other thing is this, obviously, you're a fantastic teacher of the word, right? And within the Bible, there are many teachings that allude to what would be happening in times to come.
Yeah.
Now, there are certain things that you've even taught in the last, I'd say, 18 months, where to those of us fortunate enough to sit under the tutelage of your teaching and your ministry, like, some of us are sitting there and mouth open like, oh my gosh, I can go back in my Bible study notes and this is this, right? And we've also had conversations where you've said stuff to me, and I think you've also been a little bit surprised at my lack of surprise, because I'm like, you said this was going to happen 2 years ago, so why would I be surprised about something you said was going to happen unless I didn't believe you? So I'm looking at what it is and I'm going, okay, well, you see the melting pot that Europe is becoming.
Yeah.
When you look at the major powers in the world, and obviously I know we're part of the G7, but when you look at the major powers in the world, Dad, America, in its geography, is Europe. But instead of it being seen as a continent, it's seen as a country.
Yeah.
Right? China, and I only saw this the other day. Do you know Vietnam is a part of the whole... I didn't know that. I didn't know I was in China.
Yeah, in principle, yeah.
In principle. So what we're seeing is that these continental superpowers that are now trying to act unilaterally like countries.
Yeah. If
I'm Keir Starmer, I'm going, okay, cool. The one thing that we saw about even Brexit is that you had a lot of people that were like, why on earth did you kick us out of this? Like, we want to be a part of the... So there's a feeling to be a part, and I also think that some of the other European countries that maybe weren't as strong was like, finally, we've got Britain where we want her, because they've tried to leave the party early and take away their ball, and we've gone, it's all good, we've got another ball, and we'll have our own party, and then now we're outside going, can we come back in? And they're like, do you hear something? No, me neither. Dad. So if I'm Keir Starmer, I'm kind of sitting there thinking, the real power is moving to the continent. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I would have maybe been like, okay, that's where I need to...
Well, this is one of the reasons why I am saying what I'm saying. And of course, from a political
and we're not a political podcast, but sometimes
these
conversations are really good, though.
Of course, father and son talk about everything.
We do talk about everything.
So therefore,
nice, Dad.
Yeah, thank you. So what you have is a situation where you have two people, which are pro-Europe.
Right.
You have one,
right,
that is anti-Europe.
Right.
Yeah. Now, he was enjoying the crest of the wave.
Yeah.
Because he was half of the country in principle were saying that he did the right thing.
Yeah.
Get us out of Europe, etc.
Yeah.
However, the last few years has taught the country that while it is nice to feel that we are sovereign,
yeah,
you know what I mean, but we perhaps have gone past that kind of
that stage
stage now where we can't make it on our own. We don't have anything to make it on our own. We are terribly in debt, and therefore we need the brothers and sisters across there to hold our hands together. And so this is why I feel that while Andy himself will not upset the masses of saying, I'm going to be driving that agenda, but if I have somebody who is well connected to these people...
Agreed. It could work nicely. Yeah. Dad, fantastic conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
Everybody, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us. Please like, subscribe, and share. That is like, subscribe, and share. Also, we're going to be activating our Patreon, so we will be offering, the links will be in the descriptions and everything, don't worry about that. But we're going to offer and provide ways for you to support, to interact with us more. We have a book coming. We are going to talk about that more on our next podcast. Don't worry, we'll give you the details. But we'll be showing also the process of making and how you can also, firstly, get your copy. So have an amazing rest of your week. Thank you again for signing in with us. From me, goodbye, and from my dad,
stay blessed.
See you next time, guys.